Have you ever been invited to hang out with your friends, but are worried about how that'll drain your already depleted bank account? Or have you ever wondered just how you can become rich and financially free? Well, if you have, then you're in the right place. In today's video, we're going to give you the ultimate guide to becoming wealthy and staying wealthy. Before we begin, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more videos like this. All right, let's dive right in. The first thing you need to know is how to budget. For that, look into the 50-30-20 rule. What's that, you ask? The 50-30-20 rule is a way to handle your money smartly. You split your take-home pay into 3 parts. Part 1, use 50% for needs. This covers stuff you really can't do without, like housing, food, transportation, and healthcare. These can vary from person to person, but it's the stuff you absolutely need to live comfortably. Part 2, use 30% for your wants. These are the things that make life fun and comfortable but aren't absolute necessities. Stuff like dining out, streaming services, shopping, or hobbies. Part 3, use 20% for savings and paying debts. This part is crucial. It's for both saving up for the future and paying off any debts you might have, especially those with high interest rates. Making this rule work involves a few steps. Setting your budget. Figure out what falls into each category based on your needs and lifestyle. Sticking to it. Once you've set your percentages, try your best to stay within those limits each month. Watching your spending. Keep an eye on where your money goes, especially for the wants and needs parts. Try to avoid overspending. Adjusting as needed. Things change, so it's okay to adjust your budget over time. You just might need to tweak the percentages based on what works best for you. Sounds simple enough, right? It can be, but there are some common mistakes you need to watch out for and avoid. Spending too much on fun stuff. It's tempting to overspend on the things you enjoy, but sticking to 30% or less for wants is important. Forgetting to save. The 20% for savings and debts is crucial for your future financial security. Don't skip it. Your financial future will thank you. Not updating your plan. Your life changes, and so should your budget. Keep it updated to match your current situation. By following this simple plan and being mindful of where your money goes, you can build a more secure financial future for yourself. Now, you also need to know how to get out of debt and stay out of debt. And we'll talk more about that in our next video. So subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out. Oh, and make sure to stay until the end of the video, because that's when we will drop the secret to putting this all together. The second thing you need to do to become rich is to stay cash flow positive. Being skilled at managing your cash flow is a big deal in determining how well off you'll be financially. In college accounting, they teach about cash flow in businesses, and you might think you'll never need those lessons, but you do. Because you see, in your personal life, it's the same story. We've got to handle the money coming in and going out. Imagine your money as water in a hose. To keep things healthy, you want more water flowing in than out. Or at the very least, the same amount coming in as going out. Even if a business has lots of debt or expenses, as long as it brings in more money than it spends, it's doing all right. Personal finance is just like that. You might have debts like a mortgage, student loans, or a car payment. But what matters most is being cash flow positive, making sure you've got more money coming in than going out. That's the key to financial health. So, how do you become cash flow positive? Well, there are a few videos on our channel telling you just how to do that, so make sure to check them out. Now, the next thing you need to do to become rich and financially free is to say no to unnecessary responsibilities. One big financial struggle for many people is taking on too many responsibilities they can't afford. It's not just about buying a new car or getting into credit card debt. It could be starting a costly relationship or having a family. Starting a family isn't a bad thing, but here's the deal. If your money's working for you now and you expand your family, your expenses will go up. Is your budget ready for that? You might get a better job or a promotion, which boosts your income. Sounds good, right? But as you get older, expenses tend to grow too. Eventually, they might surpass what you earn. That's when you end up in a tough spot. working even harder just to cover those expenses. This cycle makes it tough to save money and break out of having to live paycheck to paycheck. Because of this, many hard-working people find themselves stuck because they're forced to spend every dollar they make. So no, don't take on more than you can handle financially. So what if you're driving an old Honda and your neighbor has a Mercedes? Maybe they've gotten into a ton of debt just to drive that big, new, shiny car. And let me let you in on a little secret. That Mercedes might be comfortable, but it's going to take you from point A to point B just as effectively as a Honda would. So think about it. Having the peace of mind and knowing your net worth isn't in the negative is the first step towards true wealth. Anyway, let's get on to the next way to get rich and financially free. Build an investment portfolio. Long ago, there was a person who went from being dirt poor to incredibly wealthy. He did this by not just spending what he earned, but also by lending money to others and earning interest on those loans. Instead of spending that extra cash, he lent it out again, growing his wealth even more. Eventually, he became the richest guy in the city without having to work anymore. In today's world, this might not work, but there are plenty of other ways to grow your wealth. For instance, consider something like the S&P 500, which tracks the performance of 500 top U.S. companies. On average, it has returned about 10% over time. Imagine if you invested just $1,000 a month into the S&P 500 from age 20 to 50. That could turn into almost $2 million, and that's with just $1,000 a month. If you increase that amount as you earn more, say $2,000, $3,000, or even $5,000, the potential to build wealth becomes massive. That's a big part of keeping your cash flow positive. Now, investing in the S&P 500 and how it all works can get a bit more detailed. We've covered that in our past videos. Alright, so the next thing you need to do is to be liquid. Investing isn't always smooth sailing. If, for instance, you put $1,000 into the S&P 500 in June 2007 and needed to pull it out a year later due to an emergency, guess what? You'd be looking at a negative return of 50%. It would take another 5 years until 2013 just to break even. That's the nature of the stock market. It swings up and down. During crises, it might take years to recover. That's why if you're serious about investing in stocks, it's best to think long-term to see good profits. But to feel financially secure, it's crucial to have liquidity. Being liquid means having enough cash on hand so that if things go wrong, a job loss, business trouble, or an economic downturn, you're covered. Having enough to cover bills for at least 6 months can really ease the worry. So having some cash on hand is extremely important. Because when the stock market goes down, it's better to hold on than to pull your money out. At that moment, in that incredibly scary moment, having an emergency fund will save you from making rash financial decisions that will ruin your financial future. Speaking of that, it's also extremely important to have a plan. Having a solid financial plan is the biggest secret we can share, and it is never too early to start. No matter what stage you are in when it comes to your financial journey, having a plan is the best thing that you can do to keep you moving from point A to point B. It might seem impossible to achieve all the financial goals we've discussed. Winning the lottery would be nice, but realistically, there's another option. Plan your spending. Building a 6-month cash cushion or $1 million investment portfolio won't happen overnight. And that's okay. Financial independence isn't just about making enough to retire. It's about reaching a point where money doesn't dictate every decision. You won't jump at a job just because it pays a bit more. Instead, you'll work on things that truly matter to you. With fewer financial worries, life could become a bit more colorful. When you're investing, please make sure you do thorough research and consult a financial advisor before making decisions that could drastically change your life. Having a strong financial advisor might be the outside perspective. You need to get your finances in order. Do you have any secrets to becoming rich and financially free? Leave what you are willing to share in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video on becoming rich and financially free. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more personal finance and investing-related content. Here's to becoming rich and financially free.